Welcome, Reagan. Come on up.
Well, I've been eating the Italian ice, so if I have brain freezes and act like Joe Biden, you know what it is. But anyways, my name is Reagan Box, and I'm running for U.S. Senate against John Ossoff in 2026. Yeah, we've got to take over this country, and we've got to fight, and we've got to fight hard. These next two elections are probably going to be the most critical election cycles ever in our lifetime. We will either bring our nation back to God and the Constitution, or we will become slaves to a globalist system, and I'd rather die fighting than die being complacent and being a slave. So this is why I'm running. I'm tired of everyone putting everyone else first, not doing what is right for our country and its people. How many of you are tired of the lack of rule of law? You know, it's pretty easy though to fix. You know how? One of the special powers of the U.S. Senate is they can impeach these judges, these judicial activist judges, and get rule of law back in our nation. When we start getting rid of them and kicking them out, we get this rule of law back. It's easy, just have a backbone. But it's been 83 years since our U.S. Senate has impeached anybody. We are going to have to learn to come together and unite as Christians, as Republicans, as independents, and constitutionalists. As Ben Franklin said, assuredly, we must hang together, or indeed we will hang separately. If we don't get under the pillars of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, freedom, justice for all, protecting our children against the woke agenda, keep our eyes on what's important here. Like this little man. This is what I'm fighting for, because I don't want his head filled full of woke agenda that corrupts his heart, soul, and mind. We need to keep our children's innocence. It's really sad, but like, don't let all this political rhetoric, you know, ooh, what did Trump say about Kemp? What did Kemp say about Trump? Do not let this political rhetoric get you distracted, because the truth of it is, history will not remember that rhetoric. But history will remember if America falls. This is on every single one of us to stand up and fight. Me running for U.S. Senate doesn't mean I'm any more important than you being a poll watcher. We all have our battles that we were called to. And we will never win unless we come together and unite and start fighting for our nation, because God knows they're not doing it. I'll give you a perfect example. So last year, our U.S. Senate voted on whether or not to denounce socialism. Did you know we have 86 of our U.S. House, we had 86 members of our U.S. House that would not denounce socialism. 3 of them are Democrats from Georgia. 86. That should scare every single person here that we have that many people pushing for socialism in our House. We have over 89 members of our of our Congress that have dual citizenship with just Israel. And I have nothing against Israel, don't get me wrong, but that should be a conflict of interest. If you care that much about that country, you're going to write rules, laws, regulations, and aid to help that country in every way possible. We have people that have dual citizenship with Switzerland, Canada, Mexico, nearly every country in our government, and it should not be legal. We are giving illegal aliens more money than the men and women that were willing to fight and die for our country, or the elderly that have paid their whole lives into Social Security. And now I want to build that wall, but we also need to be realistic. If the cartel would dig 35 miles worth of tunnels to get El Chapo out of prison, that wall's not going to stop them. They're making too much money off of drugs and the human and sex trafficking for this to stop. I would like to label the cartel as terrorist organizations and use our military and special ops to start taking them out. This is the only way, thank you, this is the only way we are going to make our country safe. And the people from those countries, when the cartels are gone, when the cartels aren't threatening and killing their family, taking their money, taking their land, they'll want to stay in their countries too. It's just a common sense approach to America. We have over 400 federal agencies. Most of them are replicated within our state government anyways, so we're being double taxed for this. And our government is using these 3-letter agencies to write rules and regulations on us that circumvent our Constitution. It's really sad. If y'all need to read up on the Sustain Act. So our government is now wants to tax us for the environmental processes produced on our land, on our trees, from our streams and ponds, and everything. It's just another way for a land grab from our government, and we've got to say no more. This is going to end. We've got to elect people such as myself that have a backbone and actually want to do right by the American people. Another thing I want to fight for especially is being involved in the livestock industry. I can tell you how bad they are price gouging the American people with the healthcare, medical, and pharmaceutical industries. So a human ultrasound machine costs $15,000, but I can buy the same machine with the same specs off of Amazon for animals for $1,600. In the state of Georgia, if you need an IV, it costs $800, but an IV bag costs $6.50. $20,000 for a human incubator, but I can buy an incubator off of Amazon that will fit a 20-pound dog for $125, and for another $100 I can add the oxygenator and the nebulizer. How many low-income families could give their infant better health care at home that they're not having to pay for the rest of their life if we opened up all of this and made a free market system over it? Another interesting fact is there's a company that makes MRI machines for both humans and for horses. Now, common sense would say, well, the horse machine is so much bigger, it costs more money, right? Wrong. So the human MRI machine is $1.2 million, and the horse machine costs $100,000. Same specs, same resolutions. They're just using it to price gouge the American people, and this needs to stop. Also, with the rise of inflation and everything else going on, I want to get rid of the IRS. The tax codes are too complex. Most people can't even understand it, not even the people working in the IRS. And let's go to the fair tax, where you're not taxed on everyday goods and you get rebates and everything else. That's a more logical approach to where we are in this country right now, and it would help every single American. Please come see me over there. You can follow me on Facebook, Telegram, Instagram, everywhere else. You can go to my website, reaganforgeorgia.com. Thank you guys, and God bless.